I have a morning routine. I'm sure you do too. I get up, I clean the dishes, I pick up around, I straighten things around, then I make my breakfast. Now, while I'm cleaning up the dishes, I watch these liberal radicals like Rachel and Lawrence O'Donnell and those communists. And then when I sit down to eat, I switch over to Judge Judy. I love Judge Judy. So I was watching her this morning. Here, check this out.
Okay. And when you filled out the questionnaire, you wrote that the date of the engagement was October 7th.
That's correct.
Correct. Which happened to have been the wrong date because it was September.
Correct.
7th. You called a day or so before the wedding to make final arrangements. And he said, I don't have you down for tomorrow. I have you down for October. I'm busy. So far correct?
Correct.
And you agreed to pay him a fee of how much to perform at your wedding?
$4,000.
So he was going to have $4,000 in his hand as income from your wedding. You understand that?
Correct.
And because of your mistake, he didn't have that $4,000 because what he did was quickly try to find you substitute musicians to perform the next day or 2 days later at your wedding. And you found another group of musicians. They asked you to find another because they said, we have a wedding and we have no music at the wedding. You found them other musicians. How much did you pay the other musicians?
Well, since I couldn't go personally...
Just a second. How much did you pay the other musicians? That requires a number.
Okay, $600 plus $600 for the equipment I had to rent because I couldn't supply it myself.
Okay. Let's say it cost you $1,200 for the other musicians.
Correct.
You got paid $4,000.
Right.
So that's not bad for not doing any work.
No, I did a lot of work.
Oh, fuck you! You know, this...
Judge Judy continues,
Oh, man. You did a lot of work, did you? Did you now? He gets $4,000, and he pays the band $600. $600 for the band. And then he said, oh, I did a lot of work. What, advanced work? On your computer? Did you make some phone calls? Did you scramble and find some slobs to go play this thing for $600? Did you load your truck? Did you drive to the venue? Did you load out of your truck and load into the venue? Did you set up all your gear? Did you have to sit around and wait? And then did you have to play for 3-4 hours for a bunch of drunks? Because weddings are, it's like a license. It's people who wouldn't think of being, going out to a bar and getting drunk, just drunk. There's something about weddings and something about wedding receptions where it's okay. I don't know, people get extra drunk at weddings, at receptions. They do. So you're playing for a bunch of fucking drunks. And they all want to hear Mustang Sally. And they all want to hear Brown Eyed Girl. And they all want to hear Celebrate. And they bother you and they fall into your equipment. It's a fucking nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare. Okay? And then, when it's finally over, and then, oh no, just one more, come on, And then people kind of feeding you, hey, look, we'll make it worth your while. You've been there for, since you arrived, you've been there like 6-8 hours now. Okay, and then, and then somebody, they'll give you another, $50 if you, to the band, kind of thing. And then when you're done, everybody's gone finally, and now you got to break your gear down, okay, and load it out to the truck and drive home, and if I don't do weddings anymore. That is, I don't book them anymore because they're a nightmare to book and put a band together for. I'll tell you why. It's because it's so important to the client. I mean, for you, it's another gig. It's just another gig. But a trivial screw-up can be catastrophic in the mind of the client. This is the day, they want it to be perfect. And that creates stress in my mind. There's a lot of guys who do it, and they're wedding bands, and they go out and they do that, and my hat's off to them. I don't do that anymore. Now, if you want to hire me, if you're putting together a band and you hire me and you want to do the deal with the clients, you want to do that, that's your problem. Okay, I'll do that. But you know what? For a wedding and for putting up with all those idiots, and I won't do it for less than $500, and that's not a lot. That's not a lot. I'm not a big shot, in the world. I make a living as a musician, and I think that's, I can call myself a success there. But I'm what I call a blue-collar musician, and there's millions of them across this country, and most of them, if they've been making a living at it and paying a rent at it like I have, they're good. They're good. Okay? And at least they ought to be if they've been playing for 30, 40, 50 years like I have. Okay, so I won't do it for less than $500, and I prefer $8. I prefer $1,000. 500 is like if that's all I can do is $500. Is that okay? Yeah, all right, okay, $5. That's for me personally. Okay, and this guy's saying he's going to pay the band $600. The band, so they suck. They suck. How could they not? The band's going to suck if it's a quartet. Then what? They're each making whatever that is. Do the math. I can't. But anyway, $150, what? $125, whatever it is. If it's a quartet, and if it's a wedding band, maybe they probably want horns. You got a 6-piece or something like that, or a 5-piece. So you're making around $100. So these guys are slobs. They gotta be. And this guy is a fucking prick. Fucking prick. He's getting $4,000 and he pays the band $600. Oh man.